Hello, chat. Good morning, chat. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. I'll put some music on in a second. I'm so sorry. Don't yell at me. All right. Hopefully today we have no interruptions with our internet stuff. That would be really cool. Oh, StreamBot's already open, so that just caused an error. Fantastic. Is the music up? Let's go ahead and listen to, I don't know. What do we want to listen to? First, what's up, Marshall? Make me stand. Access token has expired. The fuck? Let me close the bot out and reopen it. And I'll put it in manually, Marshall. All right, let's see. Everglow first. I'll just make a radio off of that, Marshall. So you don't have to request anything else if you want to. It'll play similar vibes, hopefully. Almost 111. Insane work. All right, let me you hear the sound? Okay, cool. Let me notify the Discord that I'm live, and then I'm gonna do the stand and desk thing. Hope we have no internet issues today. All right. Well, let's vibrate real quick. I stubbed my toe yesterday, and I stub your toe sucks or everything, but like the nail like bent back or whatever, and now I'm looking at it, and it's like all like blue and purple under the nail, so like all the blood's under there. Hopefully that doesn't become an issue. I don't have to like drain it or something weird. My toe hurts, chat. What's the main point? Ugh. All right. Stand in time. Vocal still working? It is. Make sure we have this working. Perfect. All right, just some gameplay. I think that's everything we needed to do. Actually, I wanted to see if the song request bot works still. I don't know what I want to listen to though today. So I'll also request this and see if the bot picks it up. If not, then we'll just turn off request stuff. Oh, you did it. Okay. Let's see if bot picks it up or if it gets an error. Okay, bot's working. I should restart it. Okay. In that case, we're gonna put it on to old ass songs, and then I'll sweep it to your song. There you go. All right. So now I'll play it for my playlist, and then throw in whatever you guys want to listen to afterwards. I wish my stand desk went a little bit higher. Like, yeah, like another like foot would have been great. I think I'm too tall. But still better than sitting for a long time, I suppose. I just gotta make sure I'm not hunching over too much when I do it. Actually, we have full juice, so we should go probably do juice stuff. Also, we're almost capped on chaos res now, which is super cool. We were able to craft this ring with our harvest yesterday. Just reforge chaos or whatever. And I was like, oh, pretty decent. I'll stick with that. Not the best, obviously, but a lot of chaos, which is lovely. We also got our taming, and then I hit it with a divine orb because it was a 31 roll on the elemental damage, and I was like, good enough. So, pretty good so far. Still need to finish these gloves. That is Exarch modifier. Yeah, okay. Looking for either proliff or fire damage over time, ideally. Sorry, I should have so correctly. Ignite proliff. That's on me. Hey, there we go. Finished gloves. That also means now that we can, when we reroll this cluster right here, we don't need Flame Flames on it anymore. Which, we have a second cluster to roll right here. So, excellent. Do I have any juice right now? I gave a bunch to like Gazi and other people. Cool. I should probably look at see if there's anything on there I want to aim for specifically, and if there's any mods for it. So if we go to clusters, medium, burning deluge. Brush with Death is one we definitely want, so that's like a life one. I guess we maybe target life, and then anything, whatever happens after that, we'll just kind of go with. Like Circle of Oblivion's good. Other thing is all Brood for Potency is also good, which is also a lot of counterpart. So life looks like it's the one to hit. I should bring my Exalts with me. Also found out every tower last night, and we got our first Hive Gland. So all good things. Boo. Circle of Oblivion's also a pretty decent one for us. I think that's 2 prefixes already, so it doesn't matter. Burning Bright's not bad either. A 2 mod, Rush with Death, and Critical Strike thing, unfortunately. If it was anything besides the Critical Strike stuff, I probably would have kept it. But the Critical Strike thing, unfortunately, is not the vibe. Power Rejuvenation isn't the worst either. Is there another prefix open? There is not. Burning Bright, Exposure Therapy. Unlucky. We definitely need the recovery from Suit Decay would actually be good and top me off the res right now. I don't have to worry about it anymore for a little bit. Oh, we're out of red juice. Alright, we're gonna spam another juice instead. Eye of the Storm is the elemental stuff, which is a crit chance thing, so that's unfortunate. I don't want that. I can reforge with Fizz more likely, but I don't think it works because nothing has Fizz mods. Yeah. So I can just waste a bunch of juice, which I probably will, and hopefully just not hit Eye of the Storm, even though it's more likely. Thank you, Eye of the Storm. It's probably better for me to not do this. So I'm just going to do this right now. I don't want to waste too much juice so I can give it to other people or use it for things that are more likely to happen. We will put this into here. We will make sure our stuff's turned on. Our golems are summoned. We're also saving our points right now because I want to save as many points as I can so I can unspec this node eventually. I don't know how many I have. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I'll get enough between these two things at least to be able to unspec it. And I'll see if the invitations and stuff eventually. So yeah, I'll come in and unspec this eventually without having to do a bunch of like regret stuff. Perfect, you're online. What's up, Psycho Killer? Psycho Killer. I'm playing that song now. Hold on, wait. Not poke your brain. Excellent. I love my brain being poked. It's not painful at all. Cloak of Flame and chest piece? Pretty good. Just the one thing you should know, in case this is especially for anyone else who might be looking at, you might know it already. But this does not stack with that. So essentially, the way this works is it's not like they don't add together to like 80%. You know, I don't know the exact math of it because I'm not a huge math person, but it doesn't add together for 80%. Because essentially this converts the damage to fire, 40% damage to fire. So you only are taking from Cloak of Flame, you'll take whatever 60% of the fizz is left, you'll take 40% of that as fire. So you'll still be taking fizz. You'll be taking 60% of 60%, if that makes sense, of fizz as fire. Which one I'm not a math kind of person, right? But it is not bad. Like I said, so it's still pretty good, especially early on. If you like it, it's great. I saw a lot of people using it when I looked at PoE Ninja. So it potentially is a good thing to do. Like I said, it's just don't think that these two numbers add together. But other than that, it's fine. Lose the attack block on implicit. Yeah, so and this to be clear for people who are following build, including you. I put a lot of the stuff in there as like more geared towards me, as far as like what I can reasonably do in like my SSF/group SF environment. For fixing attack block in trade, there are a lot of other ways to do it. If you look at the witch, sorry, the elementalist, sorry, the winter, they're all elementalists. The Wintertide Elementalist guide, there are like things like impossible escapes you can use, like for attack block. Like for instance, impossible escape around blood magic allows you to get all these nodes, which are huge amounts of block. And you can also grab this if you want to for getting you endurance charge and some extra armor while stationary and stuff like that. So like this is a really good impossible escape to use. A cheaper one typically to grab also is just grabbing versatile combatant possible escape right here. And you can pick up like these. Also, you can get the Foulborn Red Nightmare. Put it here. The one that makes it to where fire res or all res translates into attack block. It'll grab the all res from here, from this main node, and you just like tattoo on fire res on these nodes down here. So there's other ways to solve your block outside of the armor if you want to use that armor, Psycho Killer. If you're, especially like I said, in a trade environment, you could also go into like if you're ailment immune, you can go into like Reckless Defiance, or is it Defense, something like that. It gives you like I think 6 attack block, 6 spell block, or not 60, 6 and 6. If you have good uptime on a Ruby's Concoction, the one that gives you block, that's also a way to solve it. And then there's obviously Cluster Jewels. There's some of them can roll attack block on it as well. So lots of different ways to kind of fix the attack block if you really want to use your Cloak of Flame chest. I'll stop talking now and hear your thoughts on all the million things I just said. You're not complete? Tier 10? Oh, he's approaching red maps. Red map Marshall's real. Potentially. We'll see. Hold. You know how to craft the helmet? Yeah. It is mostly just spamming essence. After you put it together, spamming essence until you get the 2 suffixes that you want, which is I have to look at the helmet, but it's the 2 so you spam. There's okay, let's talk about it real quick. Is this the oh, this is my Wintertide guide. I was helping someone out last night. 1 second. I should have just opened another POV there, so closing that one fully. Alright. Go me. That sleep orb instead? No. Not allowed. So right here, you're pretty much... No, we're dropping frames! Don't do this today! Not today! At triple lucky now, and I feel squishy. I do no damage. Mine. Mine. Hopefully it stops. All right. My internet's buffering right now, so I don't really want to go over a whole spiel on how to craft the helmet, but I'll go over lightly. I mean, you're just essence spamming for the helmet until you get the mod you need. In fact, for some reason it's not showing the essence on here, so maybe I messed it up. There's two options. You can go with the more elemental essence, or you can go with the Fizz is extra lightning. Fizz extra lightning technically is more damage, so but kind of go based off whatever essence, whatever's cheaper or where we farm the most of. Okay. Okay, it's stopped dropping for now. Hopefully, it's good. All right, he's just using an excuse to. Someone says dodge the question. Hey, are we back? Yeah, we should. Oh no, we're dropping again. No. All right, chat. 1 second. I'm gonna call my ISP, or I'm gonna check my ISP. Actually, no, I'll just do it on the chat window beside me. I'm just gonna chat with them and get someone contacted real quick. Actually, if I do it through the bot, it's gonna make me force my internet restart. Okay, it stopped again. So maybe we're okay. We'll give it a second and see what happens. And it's back again. Son of a bitch. All right, we're gonna call ISP chat. Sorry, 1 second. 1 second. I'm gonna just put a message up real quick. So give me a little bit. Hi, chat. I'm currently waiting. I don't know if it's gonna improve or not, but it is looking rough. I would love it to stop. They said they are seeing an issue, so I'm assuming it's not gonna stop immediately. Anyway, well, I'm not calling ISP now. I am just chatting with them through text while they look at stuff. So hopefully it stables for a second, and we can talk about the helmet real quick. I would love to do that. All right. So hypothermia is cold right here, and then the burning damage is fire. The waiting on. Let me go touch something real quick. All right. So the waiting on this right here for cold is not the worst. The issue is if you're reforging, you're more than likely to probably hit the cold res. So if you block suffix reforge to get hypothermia, you'll probably get that. If you block suffix and reforge fire, you're very likely to get this. But it is not necessarily a bad thing. The issue you'll run into is that for Psycho is that you're gonna want to be able to have. I mean, we're back loosely right now, so hopefully it works out. Yeah, sorry. Refresh. It has stopped dropping, but I'm waiting on people to text me from ISP. But yeah, so either way, you're probably gonna hit a suffix. So you have to essentially essence spam until you hit one of the other mods and have an empty suffix, and then you can block suffix reforge for like the other thing. Reforging cold will hit cold damage to spells. Reforging fire could also hit fire damage to spells. So you see, like, there's like other options that are more likely to happen than the other gem. But I mean, if you have extra currency and you want to use it, pop off and use that. But yeah, so you could do it that way. Psycho, I don't know if you're here or not still. But you could technically do that. It's like I said, just burn. I mean, either way, you're burning currency, so it just depends on what you feel luckiest with. It depends on the cost of the essences and whatnot. Like if the essences are somewhat cheap, probably wouldn't spend 2 divines to risk a roll just to go back into more essence spamming. But if the essences are pseudo pricey, then it might be worth it. Hey Gazi, hopefully the internet stays good. We've dropped already 16% of our frames. It stopped for right now, but I'm talking to my ISP again. They're scheduling someone to come out here. Yeah. What was the main point though? If you're not using rebuke, you don't have cold damage unless you put hypothermia. Okay, there's other ways to get cold damage. Obviously, if you're using the boots that I'm using, which is the scorch boots, you can't do it. But you can get gain as extra or gain physical as extra cold on your boots like this as an implicit. That'll give you some cold damage. On like your gear, you can technically craft on like a bunch of like cold damage, not a bunch, like enough cold damage. Like for instance, on rings, you can put cold damage like these cold damage, the hybrid ones. Those give you cold damage to make your thing chill. You can use Hatred, that gives you cold damage. You can also have this custom mod, I'm pretty sure, on like not just rings, but like I think your shield also gets it and some other pieces of gear. So those are all different things about how to get cold damage if you don't have the rebuke and everything. All right, yesterday we talked about your P-Ram build, and after checking what was strong last league, looks like Herald Cycle plus Gold was really good. People are saying it got Giga nerfed and isn't worth playing anymore. That show, it seems like the only small nerf, plus the new gem gives 30% more minion. Really makes up for most of the downsides. The question is, what would you suggest investing in for a strong Uber? Oh wait, what would you suggest investing in for a strong Uber and Nightmare Boss Rusher? I mean, so everyone's talked about how big the people. Sorry, let me check my ISP real quick. Control my Senator card. Yeah, because Gazi has a Herald Stacker, so if Gazi has the time and wants to go test out the Peabod nerf, Peabod was always the better bosser, just because innately how the skill works. Penance Brand gets a big explosion, whereas Penance Brand Dissipation is just focusing the one target with a lot more damage. That being said, it was nerfed to the point that some people were being like, it's like a 50% damage nerf kind of thing. The numbers don't look bad for me, but maybe it is. I don't play Peabod, so I don't know. But if it's not bad, the build you're talking about, the Herald stacking Golems Peabod build last league, is really strong for that. All right, so hopefully we have good, decent internet rest of the day. Someone's not gonna be able to come out here until tomorrow morning, so we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow morning for someone to come out here and look at my internet. So hopefully we're good for a little bit, and if it gets too bad, then we'll just raid off to someone else in the private league, and then I'll be chatting in their thing in case you want to talk to me or you join the Discord. We are back currently. Hopefully it stays good, but I have my ISP people sending people out tomorrow morning to try to investigate what's causing issues, because they are noticing the issues and all that kind of stuff, right? So they are like looking at it. Also, Gazi, I already went to the hell thing. I know you weren't here. Lost a lot, but it was super good investment before. It might just be okay investment. Fingers crossed internet. What's up, Catfish Wins? But if you want to do Uber Boss specifically, Inquisitor's probably better though. The Herald stacking part is more for mapping. It's fair. All right. That's true. I mean, the Herald stacking thing was always better at like just being zoomy, like no button pressing, clear stuff. From what Gazi was playing at last league. All right. Hat stuff. We'll go over it real quick. So, let's say you're spamming your essence and you end up with either hypothermia or you end up with burning damage. Both of them have. In fact, if anything, it's probably better to hit this one because if you get the cold one and you reforge fire, you have a chance to also hit this gem, right? So there's actually more in the pool for fire than there is for cold, and all that kind of stuff. I'll open this up for you, Tito. Give me a second, and then I'll try to help you before my internet shits itself. But so like there's only this cold mod, and then the cold res. But like there's also a fire res. There's also a fire mod over here. So there's extra fire mod for reforging fire, like you wanted to do, Psycho. So I probably would try to hit the fire mod first, burning damage, and then reforge cold. But even then, you're pretty likely to hit resistance. So it just depends on how much divines you have and how much you want to spend in it, and what the cost of the essences are. If the cost of like essence to divine is like vastly different, then I probably would just keep sending essences to look for it. But if the essences are super expensive, then maybe doing the whole suffix lock reforge for the other thing is cheaper. But yeah, it looks like reforging for cold might be a little bit easier just because there's only 3 mods instead of 4 mods in the pool for that. That being said, like obviously the weighting still weighted towards the resistances in both. But, less mods is still better when everything else is equal. Because like this is equal to this. Oh, and then the other part, Psycho, what I mentioned is if you're looking for just getting your cold damage in, you don't have to craft the helmet. If you look at the boots, if you're using the rare boots, you can get a boot implicit for gain physical as extra cold. So that's cold damage. You can also craft on to like cold damage onto here. So like it's the hybrid ones, like the ones that like add fire, add cold. So like these right here will add a little bit of cold damage that you need, and also something you could use hatred, that kind of stuff. So you don't necessarily need the helmet right now. If you want to do the cold damage, you can put on, and like this mod right here that's on rings, I'm pretty sure it's also on like other parts. Like I think it's also on your shield, if I remember correctly. So you can just look to see. Yeah, see, so there's also the mod on here for cold damage, and you don't. If you're using the mastery, you don't need a like. If you're using this mastery right here, you don't need a lot of cold. You literally just need any cold damage, and then you will be chilling minimum because of this mastery right here. So like the little bit of cold added to like your ring or your shield or whatever kind of stuff, or like a wand that has like cold damage to it. Like if, for instance, if your wand that you crafted is the opal wand right here that has the cold damage to spells and attacks, that also works. All different ways to kind of solve before the helmet if you're worried about how to craft the helmet. Let me know if that answered your questions. Okay, thank you. No problem. What option have both? Lotus is one of the last swappers. That's fair. Gazi, you did Ubers last week? Question mark with your Peapod. I'm gonna say I haven't done Ubers with this character, so I don't have a lot of opinion on what that looks like. So I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction, Vixo. Usually my builds that I'm doing actively like this, that I call build diaries, are more of like, hey, I'm just trying this out. You're along for the ride, or kind of just want to see where the journey leads, kind of thing. That's great. So I don't want to give you advice on something that I haven't done myself, and be like, yeah, it'll definitely work this way, and then it ends up not working that way, the way I think it does. I can tell you what my thoughts are, but I don't want. I can't guarantee it, and I don't want you to take that as like, I'm just some random stranger on the internet, right? I can just make shit up as much as I want. So, I don't do that, but I don't want to mislead you and feel bad about it because I have a lot of anxiety about making people feel bad. All right, how to fix bleed glide. All right. Yeah, I think Vixo is on trade. How do we fix this? You said your damage is low and everything is awful. Survivability is low, damage is low. So the issue, when you're dying, what are you dying? Do you think you're dying to like damage over time? Stuff that you can't block, like poisons, bleeds, that kind of stuff? Or are you dying to like big hit? I don't know where to invest. Got it. I'll be sure that making up stuff is called out. Yeah, Marshall keeps me in check. Smile. Tito, let me know when you're here. I don't want to talk about your stuff if you're not around. Got to change Bandit to Illyria. Okay. This guy has 8 million current. I think is he Ignite or is he's just golden. He's doing the build from last league. He's doing the Primordial Bond thing. He even did the thing I wanted to do in the league. He fractured Primordial Bond and moved it to a better cluster. Hey, it can be done, chat. Cool. Usually dot. I get one shot. Yeah, so with dot, you just have to have a higher regeneration or higher leech, which I don't think you can get a lot of leech with eviscerate. Also, bleeds don't really leech really well, so like that's not a thing. So your regenerate is going to be your big thing, and right now your regenerate is very very small. So if you're trying to go against dots, you have to either be immune to them, which I mean you can't be immune to every dot, right? There's degens on the ground that you can't be immune to, or just have a large amount of regeneration because you, like I said, leech doesn't really work for you. And you don't have the option to get a bunch of recovery on block because you're using the triple block shield, right? Yeah. So like you can't get like a shield that has like, oh, recover 5% of your life on block kind of thing. So for dying, it's just about either becoming immune to bleeding, immune to poison, or to blood immunity, that kind of stuff. Um, and then just having bigger generation. So if you can fit in like vitality, I don't know if you have vitality somewhere. But if you fit in vitality, that'll help you a little bit there, obviously, because it gives you a large regeneration pool. But you probably need to get into some regeneration passives, like hardy, that kind of stuff. And your hit pool is relatively small too. So if you notice, so this is important. Is I kind of lucky? Yeah. So this is the important part for people who play block-based builds, because often the time when we're talking like witch and stuff like that, people are like, the max hit's a little low, and I'm like, yeah, it is. That's correct. You are max block, and you are even beyond max block, or you're lucky block. Um, but the max hit is determined by hits that you take. If you block a hit, you're not taking it. So your max hit is your hit pool, which is your life and your ES, versus your mitigation, which is suppress or armor. So if your armor's low and your hit pool is low, then your max hit is or your max hit is gonna be super low. So like having 3,500 life and only 20,000 armor, that's why your max hit's so low. So like if you are unlucky in your block, if that 2% or that 5% right here of the time that you are taking that damage, it's hurting because you don't have a big hit pool and you don't have a lot of armor or suppress. So I mean, if you want to die less, you pretty much just have to bulk up. I mean, that's just that. I mean, not else to add there for it. Are you using? Okay, you're using this at least. Okay, I'm gonna say because I see hybrid gear. Um, like this gear right here, obviously, low armor plate. Like I want to say you can get much higher, and even if you go into hybrid, so it's just like improving your gear. Some of the stuff's okay, but yeah, it's mostly just funny. Survivability, get more life, get more regeneration, so that you can survive against things. Like I said, Hardy's pretty good right here. You can look into equipment of vitality would also help. Go into some percent-based passives would also work. So this is a percent-based passive right here. It's 1.8%. But there are other percent-based passives like in the area. I want to say, I mean, this is a little bit further out of the way, but like this right here is a percent-based. There's probably some more. Regenerate. Percent-based here. Technically percent-based, but kind of a weird way. Percent-based there. So like I'm saying, like there's percent-based regeneration kind of everywhere, which will help you with the inability to sustain against dots, because dots are probably your biggest killer. I'm gonna be honest, like while your max hit's low, you're probably just getting poisoned or sitting on like chill ground or something like that, and then it's just like your life's melting away because you don't have a lot of regeneration. So get more regeneration. Like I said, if you have space for vitality, obviously to fix your mana, but that makes your generation that pretty much doubled your generation even after Hardy. So without Hardy, without Vitality, you're only at 150, and then you go up to 350. So you get 200 regeneration pretty much from Vitality, which is a lot of regeneration to help you with the dots, Tito. Like I said, eventually if you get like, poison immune or ailment immune, that kind of stuff, or sorry, poison immune or bleed immune, that kind of stuff, that'll help out a good bit too. But yeah, if you're dying to mostly dots, it's probably mostly degen pools, and you just have to regenerate fast enough or get the fuck out. As far as damage, I never played Eviscerate. I hate retaliate skills, but let's look at it and try our best to help you out with this. It might be better to for you reference like other Eviscerate builds on PoE Ninja, but let's give it our best try. Obviously, going into probably quality, your stuff would be eventually good. So that is your best. Volatility. What did you have on before? Let me go look at your thing. I closed it off. So these are your best 4 links. I mean, I think your damage is probably mostly just because you're on a 4 link still. I don't know how much. Like cruelty is really good if you don't already have cruelty. I guess always good for hit based dots like ignite, poison, that kind of stuff. Or you can aggravate bleeding for a little bit extra damage until you find like a better thing somewhere. Because aggravates do extra damage. Do smile. This is probably a little far to go out for stuff. Unless you want other things up here, like you're going for the endurance charge or something else like that kind of thing. Like you would probably be better off just going for here and cutting off this. If you don't want anything else along this way. Also a lot more life in this area, that kind of stuff. And also you can get closer to this, I have that one. This fizz dot thing right here with maximum life on it, if you really wanted to. What do we yellow about? But let me go look at, what is it called? Eviscerate. More spell block. What's your auras right now? Wait, okay, so you are. Oh, it's disabled. Why did? Is that supposed to be disabled? Is it because you don't have the mana reservation? I say you shouldn't go that high for that, but you should be getting it elsewhere. Because like, how high are you going? Are you trying to get all the way here? Are you trying to get here? Are you trying to get into here? Which if you're trying to get into here, just go this way first, and then you can pick up life node here. Safeguard. Yeah, that's a lot of passives. All right, I actually have to be right back though. Hey, run to the restroom real quick. But that's a lot of passives. I'm gonna try to find help you solve spell block in a second. Also, Ghazi, if you're listening and whatnot, because I know you're helping someone right now. Shad last night found the lost Unity ring. Also, the important part for people who are going to golem stacking, if it, just to piggyback off of something that CD in chat, uh, a lot of the damage of golem stacking wasn't lost because Primordial Bond lost its buff effect, but you still get the increased damage effect per golem, which is where a lot of the damage came from. The buff effect obviously gives you some damage because you have like, certain damage buffs from golems, but the fact that like on Primordial Bond, if you have 10% increased damage per golem, and on minimum investment of like the 3 jewels and Anima Stone and the Dark Monarch, you have 14 golems. Each node is 140 increased effect, or 140 increased damage. which heavily outweighs the buff effect. I mean, so it is less, but not overly so. All right, yeah. This is too far to go for spell block. I mean, so if anything, like you can go this way. Is this enough for it? 80. You already have the mastery, right? Shield mastery. Block mastery. You already have a block mastery somewhere, yeah? You do. You have a couple block masteries, okay. That's what I was looking for. Which actually, this doesn't do anything for you. By the way, so as you see right here, you actually have way too much attack block. So like this is a dead point for you, Tito. Obviously that changes if you're doing this, right? But even then, still dead node because you're already overcapped with everything else that you have in. What gear do you have? You're using a chest piece? Okay, so I know you don't necessarily have probably a lot of the stuff maybe around, but one thing to keep in mind is you can get implicits and stuff on here eventually, and if you want to go for it, you can. Like now, is it on this one? No. It's on Eater. You can get spell block here. Like 5 block transfer right there. Obviously, when we get the other part, you can also on your body armor, you can craft spell block right here. About 8%. So if you want to use your body armor stuff like that, Tito, for early, it'd be save you a lot of points from traveling way up there. Like I said, you can technically do this if you wanted to. And then just go into, when you go into your clusters, there are some good, I think it's attack shield clusters. Attack with shield clusters that have block on there. You also can necessarily just anoint some spell block. Sorry, I was reading some stuff. You can also just anoint some spell block. Like you can anoint just safeguard if you want to, because remember you have 2 different anoints now if you use the cord belt. I don't know if you need a different belt. Actually, you're playing bleed. You might need the other belt. In which case, rip. There's also, like I said, clusters. There's reckless defense. Ruby's concoction. It's pretty much the same stuff we messed with already. You could impossible escape for this area or something like that if you wanted to, or if there's another like spell block thing that you'd rather impossible escape for. But once again, scaling stuff. The fact that you have a unique shield makes it to where your options are a little bit more limited, but it's not like the worst because obviously Lucky Block's insane. But even at this current investment of right here, changing this pathing to this way gets you to where you need to go sooner, and then just fixing it on your gear with implicits and stuff worked out really well. Like I said, this point right here doesn't add anything for you. So you can unspec this mastery that you had down here. Also, what are your pantheons? This is mostly going back to the fact that you want to help with like damage or tankiness. My internet hasn't dropped anything else recently, so hopefully that stays consistent. That's also with this turned on, obviously, so you have to get that turned on, which means you need reservation. So probably going into here, or taking a mana mastery, which you do have. Okay, Arcali Aberath. Okay, that's good. I say make sure you use those for like the damage over time abilities. If you're dealing with bleed though, and not ignite is bad, Rally Kesh is really good for bleed. especially if you're not corrupted blood immune yet, because you can upgrade it to get corrupted blood immunity, or not immunity. Sorry, make it to where it doesn't hurt as bad. It gives you max of 5 stacks instead of max of 10 stacks of corrupted blood, which does hurt less by quite a lot actually. But yeah, Arcali was the one I was thinking you should probably use. Oh, right. Let me look. I want to look and see what other people were doing with Eviscerate right now, just so I can see if I have. What is this guy right here who's doing 2 million damage? Oh, he has every juice item in the game. That's fair. He does have Relicash, not Relicash, Rosotha's Coil. How much is Rosotha's Coil right now? That's usually good for the best belt for bleeds, which is why I was like, ooh, right, you're a bleed build. You probably want the unique belt. Yeah, see, you get like 50% of your DPS increase from Rosotha's Coil because you're at over there 118, and this gives 51 without any kind of config or anything on, right? But like, yeah, so changing to Rosotha's Coil is big if you don't, for any bleed build you pretty much play. So if you don't, if this is somewhat cheap and you can get this, get it. You want more of the more, and technically more of the, you want more of both. Or sorry, and less of the less. You want more of the more and less of the less. It's like the most ideal stats. Also, what is that? Is it Venopuncture? This is like a decent cheap ring. Gives you more bleeding damage and stuff like that. But like not a major thing you have to do. It's just like a cheap thing I usually run on like SSF runs. People use the Tempest Shield, sorry, the Tempest Rising Boots for as well. One, two, two. But yeah, I would go in for the belt if you don't have the belt already. And funnily enough, people go into War of Attrition as the other node apparently. They said going here also Tito is also going to be better for you because like this node right here is actually pretty big for DPS. You use the Fizz multi from right here, so like this area is really nice. And then if you have an issue with like corrupted blood, you can always pick this up right here for corrupted blood immunity for a little bit. Control of Resonate major gear fix. Yeah, I mean, on the gear that you have, let's see. Kind of okay. Kind of okay. For res, I'm looking at only. And this could be like a lot better. Yeah, some of the like, so, like for instance, this is like a decent like elemental all thing, but like a low cold and like not another res besides like what's on the ring. So like some of the stuff can definitely be largely improved. Is this a leather belt with implicit chaos res? The fuck? Okay, is there access to easy resonates in this area? I can't remember. You have that one already, which I knew about. This is technically over there, but that's not worth it. Yeah, I mean, this one's really far out of the way. Sorry, chat. Yeah, you just need to upgrade your gear. I mean, that's what are you struggling? Where are you at right now, mapping wise? Are you in like yellows? Are you in reds? Are you in a spot where you can farm like a little bit to like even if you have like even if it ends up being like, hey, I have gold, I'm gonna go gamble at Faustus kind of thing. That could fix a lot of these things. Or if you get able to farm like mid tier harvest, you can like get some stuff to reroll on some gear. If you can do some of the breach, the tree still gives decent like 4 links. It's not great. Best of giving 6 links anymore, and like the most uber gear. But like I've gotten some pretty good gear from it so far. Only got to 80ish depth. Your other issue is because you're a delver or you're trying to be a delver. Is if you go into the darkness and your dark resistance isn't like capped because most people don't spend money on dark resistance. That is a degen. So with you without recovery, because you don't have, like I said, you don't have recovery on block, you don't have good regen, the darkness is going to kill you really quickly. So you need to make sure you stay in the light. So if you want to do delving, definitely pick up more regeneration. So definitely gear more towards like getting hardy. Find a way to fit vitality in. How much is the belt that we talked about? Because that belt is probably your biggest damage increaser. So to soft this coil, if you can afford that now or afford that soon, this will give you a large chunk of your DPS increase to make it where you maybe could unspec out of some stuff or change stuff around. Like maybe don't use Grace. In fact, honestly, maybe you don't use Grace right now, Tito. Maybe you just go Purity. It'll help you with Ignite. It'll help you with Chill, Freeze, like all that kind of stuff, and also gives you res until you can solve res elsewhere. So it is still a defensive boost. You don't have the mitigation of like the extra armor, but it will help you solve it to where you can like not care about a lot of the other stuff, right? 160C for Lost Coil. Do you have 160C, or is that like something you could reasonably farm within like a day or like today kind of thing? But yeah, maybe switching to Purity is probably a decent call. That also means that you don't have to worry about Ignite, so you can switch your Minor Pantheon over to Ralakesh, so that you have a bleed thing and a poison thing with your major kind of stuff, like a bleed thing with your minor and a poison thing with your major. I gotta do stuff. Ex fiance not to schedule anything for these days off of work. I guess she told her family we're coming to look at the house we were gonna rent. Could have done it any a day this week. All right, but well, at least you get to look at the house you're gonna be renting to own eventually, hopefully one day. Purity stop ground thing? No. Purity just stops you getting afflicted with elemental ailments. It doesn't make you immune to ground stuff. Do you use the fire one? Forgot the name because of the burning ground immunity. Based. But either way, this might be worth it just to test out, just for the res alone by itself. So you can like look into improving like armor and life and whatnot instead of and so much of the res kind of stuff. You can still stick with the burning ground immunity. That's not a bad choice, even if you're immune to Ignite. I get that. I do that sometimes still myself, just because because I do a lot of whenever I'm doing mapping, I do a lot of the exarch farming, and a lot of the altars make burning ground. Yeah, those do hurt. You do need to get regeneration or a bigger hit pool so you can move out of the way quicker, get more time to react. But yeah, getting your regeneration up is going to be a thing that you probably need to work on. And remember, in your hat implicit, you can get mana reservation efficiency, that kind of stuff. All right, Tito, you have any specific questions? Like one more question you want to ask me like that, or is this like a good general sense of kind of what to do? Have like a couple ideas? You need to take any notes for you? I'm gonna sit down while we wait. That's it. Awesome. Yeah, the issue with bleed as you go into delve, and like I said, I don't know how Viscerate plays exactly because I don't really care for the whole blocking to do my damage kind of thing. It feels clunky to me. But I'm gonna play Bleed Shield Crush. You'll do a good bit of damage. your chance to leech is very low. Like you can potentially put like a leech on here, right? But you won't get much life back from it. I just you only get like 97 per like hit, because bleed itself doesn't leech. It's only the hit will leech, and then like you're not. I'm assuming Viscerate's not like 6 times per second. The attack rate's like 0.5 or whatever, right? So you're getting like a shit ton of life from it. So you have to work on regeneration, and because you are using a shield that is triple block, and you're not using a different unique shield or like a rare shield, you can't get block on recovery, which is what I used whenever I played Please Shield Crush. I would go for like a Shaper Shield with recover life on block. So it makes your recovery pretty much only recoup, which is something you can look into as well. But that doesn't help against dots. It only helps against hits. So you're not getting hit very often. So for you, who's dying mostly to dots, you really just need to focus only on regen and your hit pool. Figure out how people get over 1 million DPS. This guy has 2 million right here. Almost 2 million. Oh, look, he has similar stuff that I was talking about. His generation is also higher. He does have a little bit of leech. He's also got this right here. But let's see, this guy's POB if you want to. He's playing the Eviscerate Glad. And biggest thing I always tell people to when they're looking at like how does this person get this much damage, make sure your configs match theirs, or make sure there's a reason that they have these configs. Because make sure there's no like config padding, right? Like, because sometimes people can upload their own POBs instead of POB guessing off their character. So just make sure like it matches or it makes sense as to why it would have that, and then check your calcs. You can kind of see like, oh, okay, they got to this point right here because of like vulnerability and pride. Oh, I don't have those on. Let me do that. Or their pride's given more than my pride. Oh, because there has a high level pride kind of thing. So you like, I'm so sorry. So you can like look at like what increases they have versus what increases you have, and do like the like kind of like minor math stuff. We're like, oh, they have an average bleed roll of this. Mine's way different, I think. So they have this amount of total increased, this amount of more, this amount of multi. So here, if you want to like any of this guy's POB, you can kind of use this reference point. Actually, I can just send you the PO Ninja. But he's using Jack the Axe. He's using Resolve Coil like I was talking about. Tempest is also technically a damage addition, that kind of stuff. He's using this though instead of the shield you're using. So he's only 68 block. His Eviscerate is 6 linked. So that also obviously helps. You're only a 4 link right now. I'm assuming he does Crushing Fist for like single target or something, I imagine. Crushing Fist has insane dealing numbers. Cancel damage taken stuff. 2020 is insane, by the way. Don't do that. He has to take 2,209 life before he gets any kind of guard on. Insane work. But yeah. Alright, I'm gonna play some Delve. Unless other people have like questions specifically they want to ask. Alright, close off all these tabs I had open now. No problem, Tito. I'm sorry you're having a rough time on it, bud. I'm happy to help whenever I can. Eviscerate's unfortunately is one of those things that I don't enjoy the playstyle of, so I never learned a crazy amount about it, and it is somewhat newer with the retaliation skills. But I do know Bleed, so those skills will help you with a little bit of Bleed stuff, and I do know Delve, so I can help you with that part. Like general knowledge of those things. I'm delving at 120 right now, 119 technically. But I don't have my recovery on block, which I feel a little squishy here. So it's about just being careful. And I have been keeping up with trying to keep up with my darkness resistance, because occasionally I do go in the dark and I don't want to die instantly from it. Especially now that fractured walls hide a lot of the not hide a lot, they increase the amount of like fossils behind fractured walls, so going into the darkness is nice to be able to do. All right, we need to update our filter today. That's what I wanted to do this morning too, because now I'm seeing too much junk. Let's do that real quick while we. I guess let's pause so I don't just add randomly some dude. All right, we'll go for update week 1. Oh, I messed up my thing. There we go. Just a little dehydrated, I think. But thanks. Okay, the coin of powers and stuff show up as tier A, which is nice. All right, export. Export. All right, what's happening in chat? Hey, what? No, ma'am. All right. What's happening? What do we have here? Replenishing shrine again. Increased lightning damage. Kind of whatever. Stabilizing scepter. Vanishing blades. Another lighting meaning. Armor. Means increased damage. All right. Caught up now. Let's see if filter is already updated or not. March 9th. That's this. We're still bugged to where we can't click certain things until afterwards, so I'll just go somewhere else for now. I know that I saw a thread where they're aware that Delve has bugs like that. So hopefully that gets fixed somewhat soon. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I can just click off onto another node for now and come back to that one next. I know some people are like, I need to go deep diving as fast as possible, like Steve and whatnot. So maybe it bothers them quite a bit. Okay, now go back. There we go. Honestly, the extra recovery makes it really quite nice. To like be able to pick back up real quick. What's up, sweetie?
Can I have your attention real quick? I want. Do you find that she has like her mouth is like creamy?
You can get to what's the side effects of the medicine?
She can't lick the inside of her ear.
Yeah. Anyway. What's inside of the medicine? It seems like something to do with like salvation or that. Oh. Alright. Back chat. Biggest downsides being the mines. Can look out for more coins. I need more blue coins. Oh shit. Biggest. Great leveling shield for Shield Crush. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be looking to go to the city yet. I need to start hitting some Azurite nodes so I can get some upgrades in. Probably I'll hit this node right here before the city. Or I think maybe this one is the city. Ugh. 30 stream watch streak. Wowee. You're only 80 streams behind Marshall now. Marshall got 110 today, I think. One more day for 111. Marshall's your real wife? If only I was so lucky, you know? Oh, right, my cast mastery works with these chests. Oh yeah, that feels nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. Alright, I was doing it mostly as a little like meme thing, but now I'm keeping it. Now I'm keeping it. Alright, like I said, we're gonna come back to this. I need to start getting Azurite. So I'm gonna go back up the line, hit any Azurite nodes I can hit, kind of get some upgrades in. Let me go see what Grim's doing. You know. Also, Marshall, if you end up needing like harvest juice, well, if I'm not in harvest right now, but like when I am in mapping, I'm doing harvest. If you're like, oh, I need like some yellows to roll to try to approve like my chaos res, just let me know. Whoop whoop. Want a DJ pool? See, that's what I was talking about. Especially when you go into Delve and you're fighting the little dragon dude. He drops a lot of degen pools. That's why good recovery is important, chat. Unfortunately, against degen, your only recovery is big hit pool and regeneration. That being said, I wonder how far I'll take. I need to be able to get like Aegis or something first, though, or craft better on my Shaper Shield. Is this a? Okay, it's not a titanium. It's like a armor one. Ooh, also got my first fracturing orb last night. Why didn't you heart my snail pic? Did you post a snail picture somewhere? You mean the one you posted 3 minutes ago? You psychopath! While I'm streaming? There, it's hearted. Classic Abby. Oh, are the Azurite nodes on the side also considered chests? Am I only gonna be a spellcaster in Delve now? What a great quality of life. I don't have to click things? They just open for me. Unfortunate part with spell is that it's hard to get like life leech and stuff with it, right? We're going into the walls. Hey, fossils. Hey, we're degenerating to darkness. We need to get our dark resistance up. Oh wait, we didn't do it. You know what we didn't do today, chat? We didn't do a rebuke check in the morning. All right, no rebuke. I did learn. Gazi had a good idea. He was like, "What if we just ancient orbs until we hit it?" Bring back war. Yeah, they should. Honestly, I said it when I was doing like KB and stuff. I was like, attacks or like other things also should have this quality of life. It's crazy that like only spells get to open chests for like easy. I mean, it's 1 point investment, right? At least because most time, if you're a spellcaster, you want probably something around a caster mastery. So it's like 1 extra point. But like I'd pay 1 extra point for a Warcry or for like an attack based open chest thing. You tell me my my wand attack flying across at like Mach speeds and taking out Ubers can't break a chest? Hey Slinky everyone, how's everything going? It's going well so far. We having some internet issues. We had to end early yesterday. We had it full this morning, so hopefully it stays okay. But I have some internet people coming out tomorrow to look at it. But other than that, going well. How you doing, Frostbite? We have a couple people delving, by the way. Oh wait, let me actually do check over here. No one's either. I don't think anyone's found unless you've already gotten it. The Wave of Conviction yet, though. We have other Trappist gems, just not the Wave of Conviction yet. Sick kid keep you up all night? Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully they feel better and hopefully you get some rest. I mean, Axe and Heist, level of progress. That's fair. Like I said, yeah, once you get Axe 6, you can start, like grinding pretty well. We have Ghazi, whatever he has. Unfortunately, he's going to look at something with his fiance right now. He's like, oh, she scheduled something for my day off for playing PoE. Like, I'll be back later. And I was like, all right, bud. But he started heisting. Reggie's is heisting, and then like some other people. I want to say Catfish is going to start learning to heist because he never heisted before and needs to get boots, Alberons from there. So we have a few people like heisting, and then someone from Burbs' group, the Juicer group, is heisting as well. I know that. So they are heisting, and I've asked people to keep an eye out for the gem. We'll see if they actually do, you know, or if they find it. So your specific thing is always going to be blueprints. The curios at the end are what's going to have the replica Alberons in it. The side rooms and all the chests leading up to there, they will never have that in there. It's only the curios at the end of the blueprints. Catfish. That being said, if you see a reward that has like the gem icon while you're running there, and you want to click that, that has a chance to drop the Trappist gems, which is what Frostbite's looking for. So on your way to look for the curios for your boots, you can open a couple of chests here or there. Maybe get a Trappist gem. That'd be appreciated. Are you getting used to heists? How you liking it? For anyone who's new to heist and stuff, I can always run a little bit of heist on stream to kind of like talk about. Why not? Finish more my atlas? Oh, that's fair. Well, if you ever need help learning what to do, I can always do a heist or two on stream, just kind of show some general ideas. I'm not the juicer strategy version of it, but I can show you a couple strategies here or there, you know? So I'm loving Mirage League, and the Mirage mechanic is really cool. The one downside I'm having is that I feel like my progression on Atlas is slower because everything I want to farm is like mostly doubled. So like for instance, a lot of times when I'm farming harvest, there'll be 2 harvests because of the Mirage. There'll be like so many breaches because of that as well. So it takes I'm taking like 10 to 20 minutes per map just trying to clear it out because there's so much stuff to clear, which I love. But I imagine people who are like care about their maps per hour kind of thing are like in shambles about it. Would be cool. Alright, perfect. Oh no, the game makes me want to play more. Exactly. You know there are people that hate that. They hate playing this game. Alright, we're gonna wrap this up and then we're gonna go over heist stuff real quick. We'll go over some of the basics. and whatnot. So let me go exit. Let me upgrade some stuff. Can't upgrade this yet, so we're just gonna upgrade our darkness, which people will be like, why would you do that? Ah. Live La Vida Loca chat. Cool. I hate that they make it they need to fix that. I'm gonna rage. Alright, I think I have some heist and stuff in, at least anyway, so we'll see. Man, another West. I'm not getting any of the other staves. I've only got the West staff like 4 times now. Oh wait, I can just teleport there now, right? I don't need the coin anymore. I used the coin once. So once you use the rogue coin, you'll teleport to here and you'll unlock the waypoint for it. You'll have to introduce yourself to everyone as your first part, or everyone that you currently can see. That's like your main quest for this. Or it says optional, but you should do it. Be nice to people, you know, that you work with. Smile. You're gonna introduce yourselves to everyone. They'll give you a quest one. When you contracts, there's 2 different kinds of like map content. One's contracts, one's blueprints. Contracts are single like wings where you just go and do like you run to the end and you get like a treasure and you sell it. You can sell, if you extract that treasure, you sell it for rogue coins. Rogue coins are how you pay your rogues to help you steal more shit and also help you reveal stuff and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and talk to her to go ahead and do it. So you put that in there. Over here, you'll click this. If you have multiple people who can be used for this, when you click this, it'll have multiple people listed. But right now, we only have one guy unlocked, which is Karst. So we select Karst. Now we have it. Contracts too low to reveal blueprints. We'll talk about blueprint stuff more later. Don't worry about this right now. Your quest one is always gonna be this way. But it shows you the total fees of what it costs. So it's costing us 10 rogue coins to do this. We're a signed contract. It'll open a portal. Then you go in. You'll have your rogue with you. You see him following me around right there, the little dude. The important thing about heist is that before you set off any alarms, you can die and come back. So if you happen to die, that's okay. Once you set off the alarm, if you die, you drop all the loot on the ground, and then you can't come back in. I have back with one more question. I had the test craft on Cross of Exile, the Sheeper Elder Arcane Helmet, and what you put in Aspirational POB. Am I dumb, or is it not possible to get both mods, hypo and burning damage? Did I cuck us? 1 second, let me check. Pretty sure you can. Give me 1 second though. If it is, oof, I need to make sure I correct that in my next video. But I feel like I've gotten that helmet before, unless they changed it recently. So good thing to check. I'm assuming you've already checked this. Is they block each other? So let's see. Burning damage, we'll just put this one here. It does block that one. Well, alright. That definitely has changed since the last time I did this helmet. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm going to need to fix that, and I'll make sure to update that video. Alright, in that instance, Conk Effect's probably the next best, but then that helmet becomes more hard to craft. So if we go ahead and look at the helmet real quick. Where are we at? Sorry, chat. We'll get back to the heist thing in a second. I need to fix this because this is actually pretty important that does this. Oh, like imbued? Looking at you making stuff up? I mean, it used to be able to do this. I haven't made this helmet in a while though, so maybe it changed. I want to say I did this before though. That's pretty good though. Hypo on the Penance Brand. I'm aiming for combust, but maybe now this changes that, so we'll see. Alright, so taking this off loses 3.5. Taking this off 4.4. So burning damage is just better. Okay, so we don't do hypo. The 4 suffixes, I don't think any of the other ones. I mean, technically you could immolate for 1,000, but that also gets blocked, right? No, that's blocked as well. We just looked at that. Yeah, so hypo, innervate, and immolate are blocked by burning damage. So the trap stuff doesn't really work for us. Technically interesting enough, I guess the socketed crit chance would, but at the same time, that just seems like a pain in the ass to craft, so I probably wouldn't do that. I would probably go for this helmet then instead. Makes it easier to craft, but we are doing less damage. And then with that, technically the more damage, elemental damage is better. Because you can technically roll for prefixes up here, but that then makes, I mean, I guess you can always go for not the +2 craft here. You can craft this on. So we, and whatnot, and get +1 as a craft instead of a veil. Yeah, I'm gonna say the reason I didn't want to do the prefix stuff is because veiled chaos, like locking, doing your suffixes and then locking the suffixes to oh, now I see what's happening. And then locking the suffixes to like veiled chaos to get the unveil on the AoE would be a lot easier, but you can't like lock suffixes and then do that if you have a prefix you care about. You could also do the the veiled exalt and risk it. So that's always an option later for veiling. But I think starting with this is probably better and more likely what I'm going to do in the private league. All right, so this is 1.1, 2 points. Okay, so this is still better. The extra fizz is extra. But yeah, so we could increase the AoE, just increases the AoE. Conk effect, just conk effect. Like, these aren't bad damage, but that's not like something I would gamble on. Honestly, it makes the craft easier. Restoration makes damage go up, which is interesting. Yeah. All right, so the helmet is a little bit worse though. But how much worse? Oh, I closed it all the way off, didn't I? Quite a bit worse with the helmet. Oh wait, well, to be fair, this can go back to being 6 mil. And let's do this real quick. I don't think there's anything actually would be like, hey, aim for this on any of these things because there's no fire fist spell on the helmet. Does this make the wand craft better now? We'll look at it actually in a second. Let's compare it real quick. Thank you for pointing this out. Welcome to the chat room. My chat just exists apparently. The helmet's still good. Cruelty's still big. With affliction, and then we can put on combustion as a level 1. Lost about 3 mil by losing the hypo. But I mean, I feel like you lost a whole link. Oh, okay. 1 second, chat. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
That white flower is a dewberry.
Okay, thank you, sweetie. I'm literally in the middle of trying to help someone with their PvP stuff right now. No, I don't want to hear about dewberry flowers right now. We can talk about dewberry flowers later. That's crazy? Oh no. Alright, so with that, it means we could. The helmet becomes a lot easier to craft then, because you're literally just slamming the essence until you get burning damage. So that's, I guess, better for me, but worse for people in trade. Like I said, getting the crit chance socketed spells, which is very similar, like this right here. Or sorry, socketed spells have a crit chance. Will give you better uptime on your EO. Also, the nearby thing isn't bad damage either. If you stand next to someone, they increase elemental damage. So both of these modifiers are good. Go Redeemer. Does Redeemer have burn damage chance to ignite? The effective lightning ones isn't bad. Gives you a higher chance of shock. Has fire res from Warlord. Not gonna look at Delve stuff. That's insane. What do you like? What do you like on Redeemer? Does this burn damage not get blocked by the block the hypothermia? So it would be like Shaper Redeemer. Where's my thing? I would say bugged. I think I only found one, and I just clicked on it and then killed stuff around it, and that's all I did. Catfish. You just click on it, and it summons a bunch of stuff. They kill it, and I'm gonna say it turns stuff into like the settler's desk, if I remember correctly. Sorry, I zoned out for a second. I was trying to look at stuff. So I'll go Redeemer, and I take burning damage here. Oh, it's not even, that's not even burning damage to gem, that's just extra burning damage. Well, let's see what this blocks, though. It doesn't block anything else. So if I... Would that be better for... It's not burning damage support, but it does have burning damage increase. It's kind of like whatever, questionable, right? And you can also get random reservation efficiency. Not the worst. Warlord for fire resistance isn't bad either. Also, how much fire resistance is this versus the elemental damage? So it's minus 12 versus, was it Elder? Oh, this takes damage instead of resistances. Where's my helmet? If I were a fish. Redeemer. If I were to go... Well, I think I'd go Elder. I think the brain damage is still just better than the hypo. Yeah, by quite a bit. So we go Elder something. Next deal damage faster is not bad. Who's that coming from? Going from Elder? Does the helmet just naturally have Ignite Steel damage faster on it? We're losing it, chat. Elevated Redeemer. Not gonna do that. That's a nightmare. Weird that Redeemer has burning damage on it, but Redeemer's like the cold one. That's why I was kind of like, what? So elevated burning damage probably is it? Got it. Thank you. I see it now. So it goes from burning damage to ignite seal damage faster. What a risky craft. Alright, so don't do that one. Where's just the burning damage one? 177. Renovation. So maybe Redeemer's not it. Maybe we look at Warlord. That's awful. Yeah. I wouldn't tell people to do that one. Nearby Fire Res? I mean, Nearby Fire Res isn't bad. But is that probably just worse than the takes extra damage thing from Shaper, right? Oh no, it's actually better by like 100,000. I'll have to show both in the thing. In the Pooby. So we lost like 2 mil by losing Hypo. Burn damage is better. Hypo is probably not level 1 Hypo is probably not better than level 1 Combust. Let me check that out though. We're gonna do a bunch of little testies real quick, chat. I'm sorry about that. People walking through heist stuff. I will get back to it in a bit. I'm so sorry. I don't worry about all the stuff that I'm doing. It's gonna make sense in a second. We're gonna have to do a bunch of combinations of stuff. All right. So people need to help me remember numbers. 9.1 mil with combust right there. 9.3, so Hypo is better than the combust. Okay, so cruelty with the Hypo is 9.3. That's our one to beat right now. .9 with level 1 cruelty and level 20 combustion. That's a one to beat. 9.9. 8.5. So okay, that's not the play. Level 1 cruelty probably. So my original thought of level 1 cruelty probably is the best play. That was such a large change. 9.9 for this. Wait. Hypo. 9.9. Or sorry, yeah, 9.9 versus 8.9. So yeah, so it looks like cruelty is this is what I assumed originally, so I need to go back to just probably doing this. As much as combustion looks cool. Once he fixes this, someone extract him by explaining to me. No! Um all three are good. Yeah, looks like cruelty is like the best one to have as a level 1 imbued, but it's not bad. And then from that, using combustion or hypo, you have about the same amount of damage as far as your 4-link goes in your helmet. These are pretty much like combustion beats it out a little bit, so I probably would use combustion, but it's not a big enough thing to like a huge noticeable difference for most people probably. But like cruelty, I think cruelty is still the best imbued gem. That being said, other tests real quick. Not one thinking about it. 21 gem. Combust. 8.2. 7. Okay, so yeah, so the extra imbued thing is definitely way better than a 21 gem. Cool. Someone asked me the other day, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's worse, but I didn't check the actual math behind it. So Ripperoni. We lost only about 1 million by losing the hypo craft. Assuming you get enemy takes local damage instead, and with burning damage. Is there an easy way to roll the elemental damage thing? I don't think there is, right? Hold on, let me look at it real quick. What's easiest to craft? Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as before. you're attempting to get your suffixes fixed by essence spamming and or locking suffix reforging. So for instance, if you hit this and an open suffix with the essence on it, you can lock and reforge for fire, which gives you a chance to hit both of these and also this and also the resistances. But that is a way people could do it who want to spin some stuff, or you can just keep spinning the essences until you hit both. You can also technically lock and reforge elemental with the new stuff, but that still triggers this, triggers these two. And then all resistances, so that's even worse. So yeah. The opposite side is if you don't want this, you can do, instead of a shaper, do Elder Warlord, which is probably overall easier and what I should suggest. How much damage difference is it in the two? Yeah, it's technically more damage and probably easier to craft. And obviously this goes up if you get like better versions, right? Like I'm gonna leave it in the mid rolls because I don't want to be like get the perfect thing to be cool gear, get the elevated stuff, or anything, right? So I'm gonna leave it in the middle. But like if don't get the elevated, so like, even if you get like a 20 versus an 18 is damage increase, right? For the gym level. This is so Warlord Elder is probably easier to craft. Gives us to 10 mil, and this is still before the buffs to the gym come into place, right? This still has the 30, because PoB hasn't updated yet to remove the 30% less damage with elements and the other added effectiveness yet. So we did lose about 900,000. Thank you, Zabel. I appreciate it, and I am so sorry if you spent currency on trying to craft that helmet. That's on me, and I do apologize for that. Thank you for pointing it out to me, though. I do appreciate it. And I'll make sure to make that a major point of my next update video, which I plan on recording probably today and pushing it out. For people who are looking at the aspirational PoB. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to save this because I need to look at this later and go through that. Let me make a note to recheck PoB aspirational and adjust on learned experiences. Okay. Just so I remind myself later, so I'll have to put on chat to do it. So we have updates. Do we have an update yet? Checking. Oh, downloading? Making up crafts? I know, I feel so fucking bad right now. I swear I've done that crap before, but maybe I'm just an old man who's hallucinating. And now I feel like a total phony. A fraud. I'm in shambles. My anxiety is at all-time high. Is it glitching out to where it's not gonna finish the download? Spank yourself? No, thank you. Get out of here. Okay, so did it update the gyms? Hey, it updated the gyms. Look, we gained 5 million DPS. Or sorry, 6 million DPS. So see how much of a buff that was to the gym? We're now at 16. Woo! Oh, we're down now because of the change to the tree. All right, we're down 500,000 from that. I think this is more damage when you have it, but I think I like this a little bit more as I go into it. Because you can also go into this right here instead of going in care about the chance as much. You, in theory, could also bail out of this. So this node right here gives you 1.1 mil. But like you can go out of here. This is more points, so we'll have to figure out where to do with it. But this makes your light of meaning also a lot better. You have to worry, and you get a bunch of stuff that you don't have to worry about the shock as much. So I think I like that better. You could, in theory, also just pick up your cold stuff from here. But you lose the damage taken per while chill by you kind of thing. But it does not do anything else. So it's not even worth it. Other than just the fact that it makes your light of meaning stronger. So it's probably still better to just go here because it's the same amount of points. I guess the only argument is if you don't go here is if you don't want this kind of thing. So you're not going up here. Maybe you cut off right here and go through here instead and see if you can cover all these points over here. Save some points elsewhere. So those are all things to consider as well. Okay. We'll review PvP later. Let's get... Thank you so much for bringing that up to me. I appreciate it. Hopefully, like I said, you didn't invest a crazy amount of money into anything for it to be completely fucked. And I do apologize. Alright. We were doing heist. So we're gonna heist now. I don't even know if Catfish is still here at this point. Catfish, if you're still here, let me know. If you're not, for other people, you can press V to interact with this. So like you don't have to actually click on the buttons if you don't want to. But if you're trying to open the door, press V. Your rogue will get to it. You just have to defend them. They open stuff. You can see kind of the symbols on the map. So this is a jewelry symbol. Both of these actually are. So you decide if you want to open or not. I like to open stuff, but people who run like blueprints later and whatnot will just run past everything that's not a curio at the end. But I like to open stuff. But if you hover over items, oh, that's dangerous actually. The caster mastery just opened that chest without me clicking it. So maybe I'll inspect out a caster mastery if you're heisting. If you hover over the item, it'll show you the alert. Oh, my alert bar. My face is covering the alert bar. If you hover over it, you can see how much of the alert bar will fill. You want to not reach maximum alert bar. So like you can open up until you reach the end. That means if you're in the story quest, I don't think you can trigger the alarm through looting like this. So you're fine pretty much on the story quest, the story contract to open everything. Yeah, you should make sure your alert bar does not get full. But once you open this, the curio at the end, this is in contracts that you have your curios, and then but these curios are always filled with like treasures that you sell to like merchant to the vendor. Whereas in blueprints, the curios will be like the items you look for, like for instance, high spaces or like cool weapons or replica uniques. Yeah, so picking up stuff on the ground doesn't, but like the chests, like the small chests on the side, small chests on the side. I can't. I don't even left on here now, but like the little small chests that show up on your map, the big chests and the small chests do raise alert. There's also in some areas alarms that you can trigger that will also raise your alert. It'll say replica nukes. Yeah, let me get to the point to where I can do. Oh, I got a little bit. I'm dropping frames. We're back. We're back to the lag. Hopefully that's just it goes away. But we are dropping frames again, chat. Oh, we're back. Hydrate, posture check. Thank you, sweetie. Heyo, I think it's back. All right. We did a full disconnect there, but hopefully it reconnected and it's fine. I don't know if people are still here or not. I'm sorry about the internet issues today. Hopefully it gets better. We have a tech person coming out later. Refreshed. Hey, catfish. All right, so the thing right here, what you want to do is you want to sell this and it gives you road coins. That's how you get your road coins from contracts. You can also buy contracts from this guy. Every time you level up, he'll have more contracts, so you can buy contracts from him if you need to like get a certain amount of contracts. But let's see if I can. Let's see if I have a blueprint that I can run. I don't think I probably will. Yeah, because I need to unlock people. So let's go ahead and talk about how to unlock people in case you don't have your rogues unlocked. What I need is blueprints. Yes, correct. But you need to unlock your rogues because some blueprints will require the other rogues. So the way you unlock your rogues is there's a certain order to it. Right here is the order. So if you go into the wiki and you look at the rogues, yeah, we're back. If it disconnects again, chat, we might just call it for the day. But here's the wiki. So you have to do a Tibbs mission to unlock Tuliana. You have to do Tuliana mission to unlock the net. You have to do a Karst mission to unlock Huck. Do a Huck mission to unlock Niles. Do a Niles mission to unlock Vindry. A Vindry mission to unlock Gianna. So on and so forth. Okay, so make sure you get all your rogues unlocked, like do them and whatnot to unlock them, kind of thing. And that way, right here, I don't have someone who's in deception yet because I haven't unlocked a deception person yet. So I can't do this blueprint exactly. So I have to do other stuff. So if I look at Tibbs, he does brute force and demolition. So I go to pick up a brute force or demolition contract if I have one. I can also just search brute. If I grab this contract, I'm going to go do another quick contract with Tibbs. Yeah, but turn my camera off just so you can see the alert bar while we're doing this. Oh, wait, actually, wait, we're... Ah! So it's fine. I'm to the side and you can't really hear the game. Oh. Here comes the drops again. See, I opened that chest and it raised my alert. So like the small chests that are on the side, like these little ones right here, will raise your alert. That being said, chat, our lag's super bad. Our internet's kind of shit. We might just take the day and we'll stream on like Wednesday or something instead. So I think I'm just gonna send us over to Grim. Or is Catfish alive? Catfish is not live. So I'm gonna send us over to Grim. And we're just gonna be playing off stream today. I'm so sorry. Join the Discord if you end up having questions, that kind of stuff. But we're gonna read it over just because this is a bad experience and I don't want people to have to sit through this. Hopefully our internet gets fixed tomorrow when we have people come by. Alright. We're going over to Grim. Thank you guys so much for trying to hang out today. I appreciate it. Sorry it's kind of not the best because of the internet. Hopefully it gets fixed tomorrow and we'll be able to stream tomorrow and onward. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, chat.